Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Penciled In podcast. Today we are talking with Matt DeHart. Welcome to the show, Matt. Matt is a collector and will talk to us about what motivates him to collect and how he approaches collecting. Hi there.
Hi, nice to be here.
Hi, Matt. So, what I would
Hello.
like to start with, if we can go right back to the beginning and how you got into collecting, you first got interested in collecting cards.
Oh, I think it's ingrained in my nature. As you know, Star Wars is the core of everything that I'm into since I was 6 years old, 1977, was the first movie. It was a family tradition, and started young, started collecting, the figures, the cards. Um, got out of that as I got older, just got involved with life. And then Star Wars Episode 7 came around and got right back into it again with the kids and with the family, and started seeing some art from some really interesting, fabulous artists. And so I started getting a little bit of, got kind of obsessed with Ray at that time. So I started picking up some Kylo and Ray art. Turned out some of those people were involved in the card community, and I had no idea sketch cards even existed until 2020. And so in 2020, I did my first commission for Ray and Kylo card from episode 9. And here I am now, totally obsessed with cards, with the fabulous art you guys do. It's amazing what you guys can do in a small canvas like that.
I
Right now,
understand that you're almost up to 100 cards as well, 100 Dark Ray cards, was it?
I'm at 87 Dark Ray cards in hand right now. I've got a few more on the way. I know you have a couple of mine sitting around there somewhere. It's not just Star Wars, though. I mean, I love all science fiction, horror, mostly 80s, 90s kind of things. And it's amazing what's out there and what you can find. But it is an obsession to a degree. But I set aside a little bit of funds every month, and when I have the opportunity to get something really cool from you amazing artists, I just go for it. And it's like the sky's the limit. You guys are so creative in what you do.
It's great that you can request things that don't even exist. Like you have your mashups with, like, I did you a Dark Ray and Hellraiser mashup, different bits and bobs like that that you just wouldn't see if you didn't commission it.
No, and I think a lot of people, they see the core things that you do, like, with the official Topps cards, and they may not think that beyond that they can ask for anything related to whatever they love, and not be afraid to approach an artist and talk to them about it, because you guys are open and fun, and it's a great way to make friends too. I'm an introvert, and I don't really talk to people on social media or in the real world that much, other than my family and a few core friends. But I have met so many awesome people through these various groups, and it gave me a chance to, expand my world too. So thank you for that.
Oh, lovely. No, it's been awesome to meet you. Like you say, the friendships you build and you check in with each other, see how you're doing, and no, it's a lovely community.
So, how did you actually find sketch cards? What was your first experience finding one? What was the first one?
I was on Instagram. I was following Candace Daly. She actually started with collecting figures through, like, the sideshow kind of figures. I got one of Ray and I got one of Deadpool, two characters I liked. So I joined their group, and one person randomly posted it was an art piece, not a sketch, but a drawing by Candace Daly with Ray and Kylo. And I was like, oh, that's really neat. So I reached out to her, found out she had a little shop. So I bought that print and started following her art. And then that kind of led to, there's a card, not a card, but it's kind of close, I don't know what you call it, Gabe's Cave, on YouTube. I started following them, and they did card giveaways. I'm like, oh, this is neat. And I won one like the first or second week that I followed them. And so that's really amazing. And then I saw Candace posted a sketch card she did for Star Wars, and I was like, what are these, you know? So I found out that about the Star Wars card collectors community page, and I joined that, and I started going through the posts, and I was like, there's just so much cool stuff here. So just one little thing led to another, and here we are.
That's
Amazing.
really,
I've heard Gabe's Cave being mentioned around about quite a bit. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't realize it was a YouTube channel. I've heard of the giveaways and things, but I knew absolutely nothing about it.
Yeah, it's actually a really great story they have there. It's all centered around Marty Ross's son, Gabe. So it started with their little community, and they talk about videos and comic books and movies, and they do stuff with the artists and artist spotlights every week, and give artists opportunities to design cards that they give away. So it's a great way to introduce artists to collectors like myself. And they talk about the social medias. You can follow them on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. And it's just a great way to build the whole community.
so that was I'll go back to one point you made earlier, that you can ask artists to do other things also, like lesser known licenses and things like that. That's actually an excellent point. You know, TV shows or movies or books or something that nobody else has heard of. Do you collect any of those lesser known things?
I do. Sometimes I'll see something that an artist has put out there. I love the style, and I'll think back, you know, first comic books that I really got into back in 1980 something was Grendel by Matt Wagner. And, you know, there hasn't a whole lot of material on that. There was one series that came out a few years ago, but I was like, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have some cards with that. So I've had a couple artists now do some designs for me, and I've got, I think, 2 sketch cards and sketch covers as well by a couple artists. And The Crow, love The Crow. So I have a mashup of Dark Ray and The Crow that Lindsay did. And got another card that I got from Dave Gaskin, I believe it was. Really fabulous artist too. And so it's just collecting different things from comic books or movies. Those are just sort of a side thing I do. I'm not really obsessed with that, so it's not the core of my collection, but every once in a while it's just kind of nice to have something different and fun. And knowing that people can do that, because I have no artistic ability myself, it's really, really, really cool.
Do you have favorite like media that you like to collect, or will you collect anything that speaks to you?
Really anything.
Do you like black and white cards as well? Do you like sketches? Do you like you know, well, painted ones, or there are some who actually do a 3D cards a little bit, I think. Those are a little, I think there are only a few people who do that, but are you really drawn by particular characters, or do you like, or does it just need to speak to you?
Well, really, still for me, it's the Dark Ray obsession.
Yes.
That's my key thing. I think I'm getting pretty close to feeling complete with that, aside from maybe every once in a while if there's an artist that does something really spectacular or a different style. I love a lot of the painted cards. I've seen some really cool just pencil sketches also that are amazing. So I'm not limited to a certain type, I would say. Every artist has their own unique things they do, and a lot of them just speak to me, and I'm like, you know, that's really cool. I just love to have a piece by them.
How do you store your collections? Do you have them on display? Do you have folders?
I don't have a whole lot of room for displays. I have a cabinet where I keep all of my precious collectibles. We have the 6-year-old now, as of yesterday, running around, so I don't want little busy hands getting a hold of them. At some point in time, we hope to be able to have some space to actually display them properly, but right now they're stored in a very contained area. Make sure they stay safe.
No, my nephew used to stand outside my display cabinet. Can I play with them? No.
And so,
They are toys, but no, you're not playing with them.
What do you think there's the sketch cards are sustainable? Do you think there's a future for them? Would you keep collecting them?
I would. I have my own fears because of the advances with technology and digital art and all that. That a lot of artists may change the methods they use to create art, just as the world changes. There will always be a place for me with something physical that I can hold in my hand that I know is made by hand by somebody. I think that's kind of special. So I hope it's sustainable and it continues. It's pretty amazing.
That's a really interesting point. Do you know anything about NFTs and how it applies to art and stuff like that? The two of us. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of research into that. I know some people, especially the younger generation, are really getting into that. But for me, it's just still physical is much more important.
I agree. I mean, I was always confused by, obviously each to their own, but I was always really confused when somebody would commission a digital portrait and it was an exact copy of the photo. Because I'm a bit like, you already have that. That already exists. But I understand when you do it and you add different things into it. But a straight copy, that always confused me. Maybe different people see different things in it that I'm not seeing. I don't know. But yeah, I like the physical, and that you can see that, all the marks the artist made and maybe even little mistakes here and there. But
it's the mistakes that make it even better, actually. That's what gets you very often. It's the mistakes.
Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents.
Yeah, and I don't think the art and collecting world would be as special if everything was just a pure copy of everything else. The unique little things you guys do are amazing. I say that a lot.
It loses its appeal, I find, when you see copy after copy after copy. When it's like, mind you, when you work on a set, as we've already mentioned in previous episodes, it's what is sometimes required of us to do absolute copies. We don't really have a choice about that. But when it's on your own, well, then you can kind of, let yourself go a little bit and play with it and things. And that's what makes it, I find, interesting. And to see all the different styles and sketches. Do you show your sketches online? Your collection, I should say?
Yeah, everything's posted to the various card groups that I belong to. Usually kind of posted specifically where the artist is most active, as well as if it's anything Star Wars related, it always goes back to the core group also. So
that's really your driving force. It's collecting the Star Wars cards right now.
I would say it's the driving force. It really leads me to all the other artists that I've met and interact with.
Interesting. What is your favorite, what other passions do you have outside of Star Wars?
Other passions, I enjoy building Legos. I do a lot of the Star Wars Legos. Mostly, there's a couple that I do for myself that I keep in a safe place, and there's other ones that I will build and I spend a month building the giant AT-AT.
Wow!
And I kept that safe and secure for about 4 weeks and set up a diorama for the 5-year-old at the time, and unfortunately, Luke Skywalker and the rebellion took down the AT-AT.
Oh no! Oh my God! Oh, that must have. Did you take pictures of your Lego buildings?
I do, and I post those to some of the sister groups that I belong to for the Star Wars group.
Would love to see some of those.
I love AT-ATs. I didn't even know you could get a massive Lego AT-AT. I would be building that.
The best thing about it is when it got destroyed and fell, it fell almost exactly like an episode.
Oh no!
Fell straight down, legs bent, head down to the ground.
One thing I've always wanted to do on a Star Wars set, you've just reminded me. I wanted to do like kind of a set of three, you know, where it's going down and then split. I wasn't sure if I'm allowed to do that at first because the contracts strictly state no comedy cards, but I don't think they mean that. I think they mean adding your own jokes in.
Yeah.
So I might be able to get away with it.
I think you could do that. I really do. As long as there's no, you know, as you just said, as long as it's not a joke, you know, I think you could do it.
I'm not a massive fan of drawing the vehicles and droids and things. I'm all portraits, faces, and that. I mean, I'll give it a go, but there's just other people who can do that miles better than me. So
yeah,
It'll be fun.
yeah, that actually would be fun. So how many Lego kits have you made?
Let's see. As far as the bigger scale ones, probably about 3 or 4. Mostly Star Wars.
Which ones did you do aside from the AT-AT?
I did the Slave One. Boba Fett Starship.
Oh my God, that must be awesome.
Then I have the Tantive 4 from Episode 4. You know, Princess Leia's Starship. I've done a few Avengers starships as well. I've built quite a few small AT-ATs, and I think we did one Millennium Falcon that didn't last too long. But a lot of small sets, Jurassic Park sets, just anything that was really fun, especially the smaller ones for the grandson to play with.
My God,
hopefully not destroy mine.
Lego is awesome. It's really awesome. I really love the Lego stuff. It's amazing. Along with the games, it's the only video game I'll play.
Oh, the Star Wars Lego video games are a lot of fun too. Playing 2-player with the little one is definitely a joy. So other than collecting and Legos, I'd say most of my time is spent with the grandson, playing with him and interacting with him, and it brings joy to my life. So.
Oh, that's cool. Do you collect books at all?
Not so much. I used to collect quite a few books, and then I went digital for a little while, and finding time now is just a big thing.
I don't get time to read anymore. I used to enjoy graphic novels, but I don't get time to sit and look at them.
No, that's a terrible shame. When it comes to the major trading card sets, you obviously collect a lot of Star Wars. What would, if ever a trading card company was listening to this podcast, for you as a collector, what would you like to tell the card companies?
Well, the big thing I've learned from interacting with artists and stuff is keep things on the right timeline. You know, put the releases out, because I understand you guys don't get paid until they actually release these things. Or a lot of companies are really good about staying on time and taking care of the artists. Tops in the past, it seemed more focused on the business than taking care of the people behind the business, if you understand that. And so I'd like them to, you know, think about the people involved and treat them appropriately, and try to stay on. Don't put unrealistic expectations out there for the collectors that these are going to release in 2020, and it's, you know, half a quarter of the way through 21 before we even see anything. It kind of you know, gets very frustrating for a lot of the collectors.
Is it difficult for you to find the boxes that you look for? Do you buy boxes or individual? Is it hard for you to get them?
If I could find them, I would probably buy them more. I don't really like to do the online sales. If I find one in a comic book store or, you know, a Target or a Walmart, I'll pick it up. I've only found one box in the last year that was sitting on the shelf, was the Mandalorian one. I bought it, but really for me, it's the sketch cards are the most important thing. And if I can go directly to an artist and commission something that I know I'm going to love instead of taking the gamble, it works better for me.
That's a point that has come up a few times, that people, some people like the gamble and some people don't. It seems to be a bit of a hot topic issue for collectors.
Absolutely, for sure. Especially for me, since I'm so particular about what I really love with Star Wars and Dark Ray. There aren't that many sketch cards out there in the packs that I'm going to find. So for me, it's a huge gamble to try to find something like that, rather than waiting for somebody to post it on eBay or post it to the group if they find it in a pack and don't want it, or commissioning something that I know I'm going to love.
That's the problem with Dart Ray, isn't it? I mean, there's so few references for her that you can actually use on the sets that, and a lot of the references are quite grainy and fuzzy. So I should think it will be quite rare to get a Dart Ray in a pack, to be fair.
Yeah. What else? What else do you really enjoy? Like when you get a box, of course you hope to have a sketch card, but what else do you like that is unusual in those sets? Like the add-ons and things like that. What do you enjoy?
Do you like the medallions or autographs, anything like that?
Autographs, I'm not huge into. I mean, they're kind of cool, and I do have a few of them sitting around, so they're just fun to have. I like the stickers and the patches, or I think there was like little pins and the ones with a Grogu pin, or from the Mandalorian. So one of those days, pass it on to the grandson. Those kind of things are kind of fun to do when he doesn't destroy things.
Interesting.
But,
So
yeah.
you do like the pins, eh? And the stickers. Do you use the stickers or do you keep them as they are?
I keep them. In the past, when way back when I'd have things like that from other, it wasn't always Star Wars, but I would pass them on to my kids, if they were something that we shared that we loved. Grandson absolutely loves Star Wars, so I foresee as time passes on, giving those to him and let him enjoy them as much as I do. So
It's lovely. I have heard just like what you were saying about finding the packs out in the wild. I've heard that there's been people fighting over them, and since it's become more of an investment than just a collector hobby, you obviously get everybody going down to the shop trying to buy as many as they can to hopefully get something that's worth a lot. But you only discovered the sketch cards in, did you say 2019?
2020, so it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, so you probably haven't noticed how that's changed over time. I don't know if you used to notice more of them on the shelves or not.
From my understanding, from talking with the other collectors, it's scarce now to find them. You used to be able to find them more often in the comic stores or in the big box stores, but now it's just like the sports collectors. They suck those things up as soon as they come in, and you see things on eBay for crazy prices just because people can.
That's really crazy.
It's much harder for the collectors.
Well, it's such a shame, really, because you think primarily the collecting, it's aimed at children as well, isn't it? And they're just not going to be able to get hold of them now at all.
No. At prices like that. Please go.
Back in the 70s and 80s, I could go into the store and pick up a single pack of Star Wars cards, and it was so much fun back then. But now it's not for kids anymore.
Do you still see single packs in the US? Instead of the tins and the odd single pack, because a kid would be able to afford one of those, wouldn't they?
I see those for some of the Marvel cards, Pokemon, those kind of things, or sports, but not for Star Wars.
I gotta say, here in Canada, for the stores that I go to, you'll see Pokemon a lot. Maybe once or twice I've seen some Marvel, but I've never seen any packs of Star Wars at all, ever. I don't know where they are.
I used to see them years and years and years ago, but not recently.
That's such a shame. It's cutting out the kids again, like you just said. Because I mean, a box, if it's going for ridiculous amounts of money, no kid is ever going to be able to buy that. And in one pack, if you get only 3 or 4 cards, I mean, I remember when I was a kid and there were baseball cards or something like that. I think I spent a couple of months collecting those because I thought it was what you had to do when you were a kid. But at least you'd get 8 or 9 cards or something in a pack. So, you could actually build something. But
I used to love a sticker book when I was little.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the stickers.
And you get that little stick of gum also in the cards and the card packs.
Oh, yeah. It tasted so awful. My God. And that's why you ate it, why you chew it, of course, because it tastes so bad.
Oh,
What do
dear.
you, what do you see going forward for you? I kind of asked this question, but I would like to kind of pick you a
Do you
little
have
bit
a
more
next
on that.
focus for your
Yeah.
collection? A new obsession?
Do you
Yeah,
think
I'm
you're going to
thinking
ever like,
about that.
go out from Star Wars a little bit?
I think it's still going to be Star Wars related. Um, there's a few other characters that I enjoy, and I can't go after probe droids because somebody has cornered the market on that one. But
I do love probe
But,
droids, to be fair. They are cool.
yeah, I was thinking once I hit the 100 mark with Dark Array, like I said, unless something really spectacular or a fabulous artist has something that looks fun or interesting or different, probably going to close the books on that one for a bit and give a little bit of thought and see what I go after. It may not be Star Wars, but it probably will be. We'll have to wait and see.
At-ats in hats.
I love it. Hats and hats. That's awesome.
I would love that. I would love a collection of at-ats in different hats, sunglasses, and
Do you think you're going to be watching the Obi-Wan series?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, so
Every Star Wars series, every Star Wars movie, I missed all the animated shows like Rebels. I just completely missed them in my life. But with the grandson, when we got Disney Plus, started watching them, and he got me into them. So now I've seen just about everything that has been made as far as Star Wars goes. That will continue.
So let me ask you a question here. It's not really sketch card related, but I gotta know. What did you think of the movies Rogue One and Han Solo? I will freely admit right now, I love those movies. I really, really do. But like everybody I talk to, they're like, oh, it's garbage, blah. What do you think of them?
I loved them. Solo movie wasn't as special to me as the rest of them, but I did love it. It opened up, it gave us some backstory on Han Solo, who's an awesome character from way back when. I think it was done very well. I mean, it wasn't like best movie ever, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. And it introduced new characters for Star Wars and new possibilities for Star Wars. And that's the biggest thing for me with any of these movies or shows is you're opening up the story to other people. You open up the universe to other people, galaxy, universe, whatever. And it gives more opportunities for future stories, future characters. A 3-second character in episode 9 that I am now obsessed with. I want everybody else to have that opportunity to find some character that connects to them. And if we don't have all these movies and shows and animated specials or whatever, you're not going to have that. Rogue One, I absolutely loved that movie. That was amazing, and just key elements of it and the characters, that was amazing. I mean, you had Princess Leia, you had Vader, you had all these new characters that were just incredible, and it's kind of a sad story, actually.
I
but
cried
it's an
at the
incredible
end.
story.
I won't lie, I cried at the end.
But it's like the people that don't like episodes 7, 8, and 9. I'm like, that's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings that you don't like something that I love. And could it have been done better or different? Quite possibly. But for what it is, I love it. It brought a whole new storyline. It brought great characters, and the technology is amazing. So it's just awesome to see the various scenes of the spaceships and lightsaber battles and things like that. So for me, it was amazing. And if they go back and change it, so be it. I'm okay with that too.
I did like with the recent movies how they brought a bit of the mood of the originals back, because like with the prequels, it was a completely different thing, wasn't it? A completely different feeling and energy, and with the recent ones, they've kind of kept the scene changes like how they used to be, and I do like that bit of a trip down memory lane.
And a familiar feeling, kind of.
And for me, like I said, this was a tradition for us. We went to opening day in '77 for the first movie, and we did that for the first 3 with my family growing up. And then I have my little ones for the next 3 movies. So we did that too. So, and then done the same thing for the last 3 movies. So it's part of our tradition, and I even adopted that here to my work, where we do movie events. We went and saw the last 3 movies as a group, and with family
awesome.
as well. So it's part of the world now. Star Wars is a part of so many different things. It's part of the culture, and but there's bits and pieces. Take what you like. If you don't like parts of it, so be it. That's fine.
It's kind of scary when you think about it, where you have, well, it's been like that throughout all of human history, I guess, but you have these ideas, movies, that become integrated, whether you like it or not, they become integrated into the culture, and you even see it reflected in the politics of the world on occasion, in a light manner. It's kind of scary, and you kind of think, maybe we should be careful what we invent. And but yeah. So what do you think of the new Lord of the Rings series that's going to be coming up?
I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. I read the books growing up, saw the old animated shows way back in the day, saw all the movies when they came out, The Hobbit and the trilogy, and now the characters look amazing. The people they got doing, the actors, everything looks really cool. I'm really looking forward to this one.
So am I, actually. Do you have anything that you might like to, that we haven't really touched on, that you would like to let other collectors know about cards? You're relatively new. Well, no, you're not relatively new. You are new to collecting. So what would you say to me?
I may be new, but biggest thing is, because you see the post, oh, I love somebody who could do this, or I love somebody who could do this, or can an artist do this? Don't be afraid to reach out to the artist. Don't be afraid to, if you're on their Facebook page, say, hey, can I send you a message? And send them a message. And there's so many people that are open to ideas, but I think it can be intimidating for a person that's new to the game, especially if you're not really a social person, to reach out. But no, I think to everybody, don't be afraid to reach out to the artist, to the comic book artist, to the, whatever it is that's your passion, and talk to them. And 99% of the time, positive.
Really
whether it's just you start a conversation, you make a friend, and if they can do it, they will do something for you. I mean, some artists, you might have to wait a little while until they're free to do it, and that's fine. But don't be afraid to actually reach out to the real people behind the art and ask questions and find out what they can do.
The amount of people who've got in touch with me and they've said, this is going to sound weird. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Whatever you've got in your head, just let me know and we'll see if we can do it. Don't worry. Everyone's got their own things, and they like to bring little personal bits of it into it that other people just wouldn't understand. So yeah, just be brave and ask us. We're all here to work for you. So
this is an amazing community of artists and collectors, and the friendships that you make here, are incredible. And they're very supportive of things going on in the real world outside of the art too. And I think that's important that, we keep in mind that all these real people that are involved in the collection and the hobbies and the artists as well.
We look after each other, don't we?
It is a scary world out there, and it's kind of nice to have people that are kind of got your back a little bit, and to have something that's pleasant to when you in your free time to kind of take your mind off stuff sometimes.
Sure.
I have no more questions for you, I gotta say. Lindsay, do you have any more questions?
I think we've covered pretty much everything from the collector's side, unless there's anything else you'd like to tell us. Is there anything we haven't asked you that you'd like to talk about?
I don't believe so right now.
Okay.
Done a good job then.
would like to say one more thing. As an introvert who, especially through COVID times, has not interacted with very many people, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to join you and taking me outside of my comfort zone.
You know, you'd be surprised how many of us are actually introverts as well. I'm raising my hands right here, you know.
I've got me at them.
Okay, well, I can sympathize with you, Matt. I'm doing this because I want to do it and taking myself outside of my own comfort zone. So I do understand you very, very much for that. And Lindsay is just laughing at both of us. No, I'm kidding. I really, we both really appreciate you coming on the podcast to discuss your problem with collecting. Over the past few years, I've discovered there are a lot of people who have a problem collecting. And that's a good thing for us artists, actually. Where can people find you if you want them to find you and see your collections?
Don't have very many social medias. Don't post too much to Instagram. So if you search for me through any of the card groups, Sketch Card Fanatics or Star Wars Card Collector Group, Star Wars After Hours, or the Artist Alley sister group for Star Wars card collectors, you can find me.
Okay, great.
Search for Dark Ray and I'll pop up.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt. This has really been a pleasure.
Thank you for overcoming your fears and coming to talk to us today. It's been awesome to meet you, finally.
Very nice. Very nice to meet you guys too.
It is really nice to meet the people who collect what we do and to learn from you all and hear your side of things a little bit. You know, we don't often get to, especially when it's not just words on a screen. They don't give the same feeling as talking to people face to face. It's not the same at all. Thank you so much, Matt. We'll hope to meet you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Bye.
Bye.